Shalom, shalom and welcome. This is Yashar'al, Living Orders and Commands, an end-time series of messages directed to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father, who has come to accept Yahushua as Mashiach, who has come to accept that it was indeed Yahuwah who manifests his word in the person and the man of Yahushua Mashiach. And know this, that you cannot separate the word from the person. They are indeed one. And in due season, you will come, we will all come. We who will fulfill the final exodus will come to know and acknowledge such. With that said, let me move on into part 2 of a multi-part segment that I had begun, entitled 12 Baskets Filled, an Awakening Nation. Again, if you're tuning in for the first time, I invite you to listen to part 1 at the very least, in order to get the full benefit of this message. If you are returning, I salute your patience, your pursuit of set apartness, and your desire and zeal to grow closer to Yahushua Mashiach, to the Almighty Father. With that said, let me continue. Let me read again John 6:12 through 14. And when they were filled, he said to his taught ones, gather the broken pieces that are left over so that none gets wasted. I submit to you these pieces were pieces of food, the bread of life. The fish were food that if one was hungry, they can return to these 12 baskets and eat. Notice that his taught ones did as he said by his words. Again, I want to read the 13th verse, John 6:13. So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with broken pieces of the 5 barley loaves, which were left over by those who had eaten. And again, I submit to you in Mark 6, chapter verse 43, it lets you know that it was fish as well as the barley loaf, fragments of fish and barley. 14th verse says, then the men, having seen the sign that Yahushua did, said, this is truly the prophet who is coming to the world. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, again, that it was by the words of the Mashiach, instructing his taught ones to gather the pieces. And I submit to you, pay close attention, how by the instructions of Yahushua Mashiach, we will be instrumental in the gathering of pieces of truth, fragments. Yes, many of us have and will discover there are fragments of truth in our walk. And we will find ourselves participating in knowing what it means to be iron sharpening iron. We will understand the reason why it says 12 baskets filled, because if we look in the last days, in these end times, there are 12 tribes that will emerge. 12 under the banner of Yashar'al. And scriptures talk about a grafting in of Goyim, of Gentiles. And we see that there is a great multitude of many nations, kindreds, and tongues who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father. We will see, because if we understand the scriptures, when I mentioned the 7th chapter of Revelation, it says sealed, the servants of the Most High sealed in their foreheads. And if you read further in that chapter, the 7th chapter of Revelation, you'll see there was a great multitude of many nations, kindreds, and tongues. And if it said that they wore white robes washed in the blood of the Lamb, are these not also servants of the Most High? You see, all too often we stop and we fall short of knowing what the full message. My brothers and sisters, we will witness by the word of Yahushua Mashiach an awakening nation. We will see all that is said come to be. Since the days of old, Yashar'al had been scattered due to our disobedience. But I assure you, during end times, we are witnessing the restoration. We are witnessing life immeasurably as we are made whole by Yahushua Mashiach. Proof of the fullness of restoration will emerge as we are gathered from the 4 corners of the earth. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. I submit to you, there will be a reflection of life immeasurably. There will be many among us who will not get it, what I'm saying, and I understand. There will be many among us who are captured by the literal and the contextual, who will be void of receiving what the Spirit of Yahushua is saying as I've presented regarding this matter. But there will be some of you, there will be those among us who will receive these words as flowing water ever so reinforcing our strength and our beliefs. Beware of those who are quick to say words like prove it, show me the scriptures, or show it to me in the scriptures. For many of them speak so boldly, but are not positioned and poised to hear what the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua is saying. So though you may be able to show them the script, proof will only come when the Spirit of Yahushua make alive the script. Those who trust and believe and function on their own intellect will find themselves in a position that is flawed, that is wrong, that is wicked and erroneous. So do not succumb to the threat, the challenge, the promise, the question, or even the invite of prove it to me to someone if they are not seeking to discern the voice of the Spirit of Yahushua. For all too often, there are so many of us who have given in thinking that we can prove something because we point to some text, or we point to the text in Scripture. That is not proof. We might think it is, but I assure you, it is the Spirit of Yahushua that hardens the softened hearts. When we read the Scriptures, it tells us no one can come unto the Father unless drawn by Him. The Scriptures tell us that if Yahushua is lifted up, it is He that will draw all men. It didn't say if you take the text and slam it in somebody's face and throw it in somebody's face, that's going to draw them. It didn't say if we lift the written text up, that will draw them. It said if we lift Yahuwah, if we lift up Yahuwah, Yahuwah's word that was manifest in the flesh in the person of Yahushua, if Yahushua is lifted up, He will draw all men. It said no man can be drawn except by the Father. So unless we walk in obedience to the living commands, the living orders from the Almighty One, then we can do all we want. That does not bring about the proof. Pray and watch. Back to the matter of 12 baskets being filled, the fragments of truth. If we look around, there are many different religions that have fragments of the truth. If we look around, we will find and discover brothers and sisters who have been delivered from false teachings and practices and pagan names and false idol names and false beliefs. But we will discover that they had a hunger, that there was a seed to pursue set apartness. And in that seed budded, we will discover coming together. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Remember, the enemy is nothing more than a wicked, falling messenger who present fragments of truth mixed with his deception. But I submit to you, truth is truth, and the fragment that is true will be brought whole, where all fragments of truth will show to be of origin from the Almighty Father. And that which is wicked will indeed prove to be wicked and purge from among us. We will come away from such. 12 baskets filled, an awakening nation. I truly believe that no one knows the exact number save the Almighty One. I believe just as Yashar'al, the Yashar'al who was one of our forefathers, whose name was Yaakov, commonly known as Jacob, whose name was changed to Yashar'al, commonly known as Israel. I believe that he described the personalities of each of his 12 sons. And I believe we will witness similar personalities among 11, with the exception of Dan, in the coming days. We will see characteristics that he spoke of in Genesis chapter 48 and 49. I invite you to visit, and for the sake of time, I will not read a whole chapter, but I invite you to visit chapter 48 and 49. I am compelled to believe that we will witness something phenomenal, and it will find itself to be akin to the makeup, the structure, the characteristics of those who will be among the ranks of the 144,000 in the final days. I believe without a doubt the characteristics of 11 of the sons of Yashar'al, along with Manasseh, the grandson, making up the 12th tribe in Revelation. If you notice, Dan is not mentioned in the 7th chapter. He is replaced by Manasseh. And I submit to you, we will see the characteristics that the Father spoke of, that the Father Yaakov, whose name was changed to Yashar'al, spoke of to his sons. We will see those characteristics among the 144,000. Pray and watch. It may not be important to some, but others it will be as a splash of water by the word. There's an awakening nation under the banner of Yashar'al that is emerging. And there will not be a 13th nation of Gentiles or Goyim. The Gentiles and Goyim will be grafted in, are grafted in as one and become Yashar'al. We become one together as Yashar'al by Yahushua Mashiach. There will be 12 tribes as one nation, with Gentiles and Goyims grafted into the body, all under the banner of Yashar'al by Yahushua Mashiach. My brothers and sisters, for some, these words will be difficult to embrace, but I am compelled to believe that this message, this segment, will find the intended recipients and will contribute towards the shaping of a united and awakening nation. I have no doubt there will be individuals who will come to understand this message quicker than others. Just as there are first fruits within the same vine, so will there be those who will mature or discern before others. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. There are specific details in the gathering of Yashar'al that are important to each of us. We will witness chosen leaders who will emerge with directives, executing right rulings, following living orders and commands. There will be instructions. There will be judgment. There will be a coming away. There will be purging. The Almighty Father Yahuwah, through his set-apart spirit, sent in Yahushua's name, is indeed rising among us. I submit to you 12 baskets filled represent a specific number. The 144,000 with 12,000 from each of the tribe. And I submit to you they are filled with the 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes, along with those who are Goyim or Gentiles grafted together as one. An awakening nation will prove to be something of which many of us may not have envisioned or believed. Hear me, O Yashar'al. Our redemption draws close. Are you ready? Are you ready to discover what is expected of you? Are you ready to begin to receive the details necessary that will fortify you and give you the strength to face the journey of our final exodus or be a martyr for Yahushua's name? Those who will be among the fallen away, those who will be led astray, will face a different outcome. There are details and more details, and they will unfold in the coming days. Our eyes will be made clear and our ears will be unclogged. End times will prove to produce the most extreme humbling of times, and we will find that what is necessary to break through our stiff neck, stubbornness, clouded visions, clogged ears, disobedience, we will discover what is necessary to receive deliverance and freedom from such weights. We will discover what is ordered of us. As I say often, end time prophecies will be fulfilled. Not maybe, not might, they will come to be. All promises from our Almighty Father Yahuwah will be kept. The Spirit of Yahushua will rise up within us as we find ourselves weakened mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And in our personal weakness, we will witness strength in the Spirit of Yahushua working within us, through us, one towards another. There will be chosen leaders that will rise up. There will be structure. There will be discipline. There will be an awakening nation. We will discover true Yashar'al emerge unequivocally, and the world will come to know that the Almighty Father has fulfilled his promises and will continue to fulfill his promises. And we will even witness his sent messengers, Malachim, most commonly referenced as angels, appear before us from time to time, my brothers and sisters. Behold, the promises of the Most High Father Yahuwah through his set-apart spirit in Yahushua's name has begun to rise among us. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, continue to pursue set-apartness with an earnest mind to do the will of the Almighty Father. And know that he knows the very intent of all, and know that though we have been scattered and fragmented, the fragments will come together. There will be the emergence of 12,000 individuals of each of the 12 tribes, representing 144,000, along with a great multitude of many nations, kindreds, and tongues. This concludes this multi-part segment entitled 12 Baskets an awakening nation. Proof comes. Are you ready to receive? Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.